You're live, Maharaj. Live.
Oh, really? Jai.
Jai.
So many questions.
There is a question.
Yes.
There were two questions this morning. Yeah. Speak loud, speak and hear.
So this afternoon you spoke about the concept of marriage between us and the Lord, marrying the Lord, and how can we experience this reciprocation of being married to the Lord? I mean, it's a beautiful concept to believe in, but experientially, how to feel the reciprocation of being married to the Lord eternally and being His alone for His.
So it's basically it's a theological conception. It's not in our level of consciousness. We should not think of it as a physical conception. So it's more theological, being married to the Lord. So in that context, it was like in many traditional societies, the marriage is something fixed. You cannot, like in Ireland, it's not allowed to divorce, or in many other cultures and traditions. So I was speaking about if we dedicate ourselves to someone, then we cannot step back. So our act of dedication to the Lord is kind of marriage. So we agree to work in union with Him, and He gives His word. He said in Bhagavad Gita that my devotee will never perish, right? So my devotee will never become a prey of a sin. He will not be responsible for his misdeeds. This is what Lord Krishna says. So it's like a marriage. He says he takes protection on us. He takes responsibility for us, and we also give our word, our promise that we're going to follow His rules and regulations. So we may think that this is kind of conception of marriage, you know, when they marry, they say each party says that what they say, only death will separate us, something like that. I never said this. Huh?
Through rich and poor, through rich and poor, and through sickness and health, till death do us part.
Yes, exactly. So something like that. It's very similar. So we tell to our Lord that since this time we're going to be faithful to you. We're not going to blame you for bad things in our lives, or for bad destiny. We're not going to blame you. And he says he would take responsibility. So this is the level 1 in our philosophy. So it's like theologically being married to the Lord. But our acharyas, they gave us the doctrine of prema bhakti, where if we follow the Lord's rules, Lord's words, then that means we follow Vaidya Bhakti. We have devotion to the Lord according to certain rules. Then after some time we will feel rati. In Sanskrit language it's called rati, some attraction to him. It's like when you first enter your job, enroll in your job, then you do it because you are paid. You get your payments and you can support yourself. But after some times you start appreciate your work. You like your work. And you go there not because they pay you, but you really like it. I don't know if it's possible. But I knew some people who mainly they are like architects and artists, but they like their work. Plus they were paid. So this is called in Sanskrit rati, attraction. And that attraction is further developed into five bhavas, or 5 states of heart, states of consciousness, or loving states of consciousness. So there are 5 kinds of this. Like they call it neutral, servitive, friendly, parental, and consortial, right? Consort. These are all included in such conception as loving attraction. There are gradations. There are mixtures of this and gradations. Like I may say, I like sausages, and I may say, I like my wife. So these both words I like, but the deepness or profoundness of this are different. But the word is the same. So when you attracted to the Lord in neutral state of consciousness, it's one thing. But when you're attracted to Him as your friend, it's another thing. But the attraction is still there in both cases. But the deepness of attraction is different. Or tastes of attraction is different. And taste called rasas. So it's different rasa when you're attracted to the sausage and to your wife. But attraction is there. And so the highest kind of attraction is called consortial. And there we hit this conception to marry the Lord. Though in all other religions and philosophical concepts, the physical attraction to the Lord as a wife to the husband, they cannot conceive it. They reject it bluntly because it is not possible. So in general public we say it is theoretical, or it's theological, a theological conception. You marry your Lord because you connect yourself to Him. It's like a marriage. But in a closer group, in Vaishnava group, of course, we say that in highest stages of attraction or loving conjugal, in loving state of consciousness, you actually become his consort, conjugal. But you said we mentioned this in the morning? Afternoon? I don't remember.
When you said that
really?
Lord Nityananda was a drunkard, but what can we do with our Lord is a drunk and we're married?
Ah, yes. Yes, we discussed why Lord Nityananda gave something else that he was told by Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu told him, go to Gauda Desh, go to Bengal and spread my teaching, the teaching of Prema Bhakti to general people. And Lord Nityananda obeyed his order, but he spreads some other doctrine. He told people, chant Gauranga's name, Boli Gauranga. So Mahaprabhu didn't tell him that, but Lord Nityananda banned his order as his danda. You remember, he broke his danda. So he broke his order, and we discussed why. So I think because he was a drunkard. And as a drunkard, he was attracted to some taste of wine, you know. And, you know, the drug addicts and drunkards, they cannot leave the habit. And they want, and once they taste it again and again and again, once they taste it again, they want to share it with others. So when they become drunk, they go out and say, hey, hello, just share it with me. And he poured his wine. And so Lord Nityananda, he was drunk always of sweetness, of Mahaprabhu's qualities, Mahaprabhu's gunas. So he went there, and because he was drunk always, he started giving his, he started sharing the taste of his intoxication with others. So he forgot about Krishna, because he was drunk not with Krishna's qualities, but with Mahaprabhu's qualities. What can you do? So if your husband is drunkard, you still have to serve him. In Srimad Bhagavatam it says, even your husband is old man and quarreling man and poor man, you still have to follow him. So our Lord, Lord Nityananda, is that drunkards, but we have to follow him anyway.
And he is also drunk and intoxicated with love from us.
Yes. I forgot to mention this word love. Yes, of course he was drunk with love. So any other doubts in the regarding the path you have chosen?
But then whose orders to follow, Mahaprabhu or Nityananda?
We have to follow Mahaprabhu's order.
Wait a second. Then we go
Nityananda said, just chant Mahaprabhu's Gauranga's name, and all benefits that you strive for, you get all the benefits. But the problem is we have to chant his name in certain state of heart, in certain state of chetasa, mind. And here we come to Mahaprabhu's instructions, how to prepare yourself to be, how to prepare yourself to deserve that intoxication with love. And Mahaprabhu gave us 4 regulative principles, which is tolerance and submission, tolerance, then humility, tolerance, then respect everyone, and not to expect someone respects you. So he gave that. And then he also gave the symptoms that you advance in executing these principles. So he gave, I forgot all of them, he gave 9 symptoms that you actually follow the right path. That you believe, you have strong faith, that whatever happens to you is for your own benefit by the Lord. Then another one is to take care of your time, not to waste your time. It's interesting. It's not the, actually we have to understand, it's not the principle, but it's just a symptom. When sometime you find yourself caring about your time, oh, I waste this day, I did this and I did that, but it has nothing to do with serving my Lord, and it brings you sorrow, then it's a symptom. It's not artificially to execute this, but just a symptom. You know, like high temperature is a symptom of your disease, but not the principle to follow. So if you want to be sick, it's not that you hit yourself up to 37. But if your body is warmed, is up to that temperature, it's the symptom that you advance in your disease. So that Krishna consciousness is a disease. In a material viewpoint, it's disease, because people in Krishna consciousness, they're not social. They don't follow the goals that government and leaders of society set forward for them. They say you have to be successful in your life, and you ask, what is the success? Oh, success is to influence as many people as you can, by any ways, by your money, by your power, by your intellect, or by your piety. So you have to influence somehow other more and more people. That means success. The more people cry at your tomb, the more successful you are in your life. So this is the basic principle they preach to us. And Krishna conscious people, they don't care how many people will cry. But these people, they don't say cry, but they say they will remember you. The memories of yourself will reside eternally in our hearts. This is what they say. But we understand it's influence others. So you died, but they still remember you. They forget all their daily deeds, but they sit back in their houses and remember you. That means you are successful. So now I try to pass some life in UK test, and I must remember who was the William the Conqueror. So he died thousands years ago, but I still must remember him. Otherwise, I cannot stay in his land. So, or who are most prominent movie directors in the UK? Choose 2 of 4.
Really?
Yes. Of fashion designer, choose 2 of 4.
Wow.
I have to. Yes, I know Vivienne Westwood. That means success, isn't it? So Vivienne Westwood is successful because even I remember her. I know her. So.
And enjoy as much as you can, because you live only once.
Yeah, enjoy your senses and influence others. Yeah. So those who try to follow bhakti or devotional path, they become careless about goals that leaders of society establish for us. Who cares about movie directors and dress designers, actually? So, any other doubts?
There was also one question, and so we want to ask, like, how is it that sometimes we have to move, progress forward, but sometimes we feel that we go backward.
So what's the question? Yeah, it's a statement.
A statement.
Yes, we.
How can we get help?
Oh yeah. So all questions that start with how have one answer. 4 regulative principles: humility, tolerance, respect everyone, and not respect from others.
You know what Goswami Maharaj asked Gurudev, why is that you mention this all the time, actually? And then Gurudev says, because nothing else works. That's the only thing that works.
This is what Mahaprabhu told us. You know, this question, how to, like, oh, I feel that I'm not attracted anymore, but how to revive that attraction, or how to appreciate again what I appreciated before, how to evaluate something that was valuable for me before. Just remember in what circumstances you evaluated initially. What happened that you were attracted to that conception? What were circumstances? And I'm sure that it was in sadhu sangha, in devotees society. It's not like you're walking down the street and suddenly the Lord. It could happen, but in our case, hardly possible.
Revelation.
Yes, in some rare cases, but we don't consider it now. So it hardly happened like you walking down the street and suddenly Lord, like dark blue Lord with flute descended from above and started playing his divine flute, and you forgot everything and you embraced his feet. No, I don't think it happened, but most probably it happened in devotees community. So you entered sadhu sangha, or you started communication with devotees, and then the values that were significant for you before suddenly lost their importance, and you started appreciating new values like faith and inner fulfillment, all things that our acharyas mention. So to revive that attraction, place yourself in similar circumstances, again into devotees community.
And sadhu sangha.
Yes, sadhu sangha. This is sadhu sangha. So we felt attraction to Krishna in sadhu sangha. Mahaprabhu dedicates half of one chapter in Madhya Lila to sadhu sangha. He emphasizes that importance of sadhu sangha. Of course, he mentions sadhu sangha when he interprets Atmarama verse. He says, to be happy, to be content within yourself, you have to anyway go to sadhu sangha. It's not enough. He says that those who already Atmarama, they may be Jnani and Yogis. Once you are Atmarama, you may be Jnani and Yogi. That means you understood the principle of environment that is called Jnani, one who discovered the common principle of the being, of the existence. This is called Jnani.
Someone like him?
No. And Yogi is one who understood his principle, the one's self. So Jnani, one who understands environment. Me, myself, is the truth. So both of them become Atmarama. But to reach that state, it is not enough to practice yogi or practice jnani. Once you reach this Atmarama state, then you are either yogi or jnani. But to get that platform, to get on this platform, you have to be within sadhu sangha. Mahaprabhu says it's not possible to become jnani or yogi, perfect jnani, full-fledged. It is not possible without sadhu sangha. And what to speak of bhakti? Not possible. So, community of those who share the same values is very important for us. This is called sadhu sangha. Sadhu means one who established in sat. Sat means truth. Sat means something that is not changing, unchangeable. Sadhu means one who grasps something that is not changeable. So Mahaprabhu said that Brahman is Sat, Atma is Sat, unchangeable, means eternal, and Krishna is also Sat. So you can choose what kind of Sat you want, and you choose Sadhu. So if you want take shelter of Sat as Bhagavan, then you have to follow Sadhu, Bhakti Sadhu, and Yogi and Jnani, etc. So any other? Anyone wants to declare his deviation from Bhakti path? You want to ask?
So we've heard that Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. It's not just a physical place. But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see that after Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he started to run towards Vrindavan. And he had, like, Mahaprabhu, he's already in Vrindavan. He's in that state of consciousness. And this happens also with many other pure devotees. Like Radharani also, she feels separation from Krishna, but she's always with Krishna. So why is it that Mahaprabhu feels the need to go somewhere if he's already in that state of consciousness?
When you are close to something, you don't see it. So if you want to read the book, you have to keep certain distance. If you just stick your book in your eyes, you won't be able to see it. So Mahaprabhu was in Vrindavan. He is Vrindavan, but because there is no difference or there is no distance between Mahaprabhu and Vrindavan, so in his mad consciousness, his mad state of mind, he cannot see it, so he starts going there. He wants to find it, but he is the Vrindavan. It's like when sugar wants to taste the sweetness. What the sugar personified? What should he do to taste? To eat honey? To eat Coca-Cola? To drink Coca? What he should taste himself? But how? And if we start contemplate or start to try to answer this question, then we go mad. So Mahaprabhu or Krishna, he started thinking, how can I taste myself? And he gone mad, and he ran. And same, and Radharani, little different but similar. In 10th chapter of Gita, in 10th verse, Krishna says, he addresses to Radharani, and he says, when my devotees are sunk in ignorance, in dark ignorance, I give them light how to find me. But how his devotees can merge into ignorance? Because they are too close to him, so they don't see him. And Krishna then keeps little distance. That means separation. I forgot that Sanskrit term, separation. Vipralamba. So he gives this Vipralamba state. So devotees at certain distance again see him. So he tells this to Radharani. If you don't see me, that means I am within you, and you are within me. So don't worry. So any...
Is it something which separates end of Lila and beginning of Lila?
Or maybe, I never thought about it. Maybe. So any questions regarding history of UK?
Question about humans. Like
Is it criminal activity to sell alcohol to persons under 18?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Now I know.
You knew. You knew that one.
Yeah. So.
I was going to ask about, in a mundane sense, a person, so, the closeness of what you said about Mahaprabhu, for a human in the world, it's Maya, and we cannot even see that anything that we see has that Maya. But at the same time, we're encouraged to think everything is favorable that's happening in our lives, in our practicing lives. So that requires a conscious kind of, in a sense, like conscious vision of the world.
So it seems there's always that duality, right? And of unconsciousness and inability to see that actually everything I'm seeing is through a lens of Maya. But at the same time, that what I'm seeing must be seen as transcendental and actually, or at least favorable. And it kind of ties into a question that I had just about, in general, like, to what extent can worldly experience teach us about the divine?
That images of that we perceive with our senses, they are illusory, but they can direct us to something real. It's like when we watch a movie, what do we actually see? So we see these heroes and this person, that sheep and sky and land. So if you ask a person, what did you see in that movie? He will tell you the story. But this is illusion, because actually what he saw was the combination of light and shadow. So by watching the movie, you can definitely say there is light and there is shadow. And that light and shadow is not the combination of it. It's not spontaneous, but there was some director, some producer who put these changes of light in certain sequence that you might see it as a reality. So what is going on this? What is going on the screen is not important. The important is, now I understand there is light manipulated by some hypnotists. The supreme hypnotist. So when you see this reality, it's just a combination of light, shadow, and dark that makes this reality. So what's the lesson we can take from? The lesson is that there is someone behind that show. I am the observer, and someone makes me to observe it. And what he shows me, it's not important.
But then me as an observer, I have a lens of Maya. So there is the Maya, and then my inability to perceive that
is also Maya. Yeah. Yes. It's like to see the chunk of glass that is far away. You have to take glass. So to see that Maya, you have to take the instrument, which is also Maya, which is mind. It's it makes the situation quite difficult because the instrument is also Maya, but the ability to analyze, as Srila Dharma says, is not Maya. The ability to analyze means to take apart something truthful and false, something true and false. The ability is not Maya.
And Krishna is that great.
But
isn't it?
yes, so the ability to separate truth and false is not Maya, but the instrument is Maya. So, but
isn't it also that Krishna let you perceive what at that moment you are able to perceive until you perceive something else?
This is very high level of Krishna consciousness, when we understand that what we see is enforced by Krishna. It's quite high level of Krishna consciousness, when we understand that whatever happens in our life, that means whatever I perceive, is done by Krishna.
Yeah. Until you're ready to perceive something else, until you search for Krishna, the reality, the beautiful, and then the sweet play of God.
The problem is that there is truth and illusion, and there are two different instruments to perceive truth and illusion. It's like there is a telescope and microscope. Two different instruments. One instrument shows you some far objects, and other instrument shows you some close objects. So we have two instruments: mind, with combination of sensual organs, and reason. So with reason, you cannot see objects, and with senses you cannot see truthful things, real things. So there is reality and Maya, false, and two different instruments. So we have only sensual organs now. This is bad news. And good news, that everything that we perceive with senses is false. At least we know that this image, that image is false. But because this is false, there must be some truth, some reality. So what I see with senses is false. But what I see with reasoning is truth.
Reasoning, you say?
Reasoning or buddhi, it is truth. The only problem is that with reasoning or with intelligence, we cannot see things, but we can see the existence of things. So when by intelligence we try to observe the Lord, we must understand anything that we observe will be false. Because, you understand? Maybe I'm not correctly explaining.
When you say intelligence and reason, you mean the same?
Yeah.
So then we have to go with sadhusanga to consciousness, right? To search for that.
Yeah, with reasoning we can understand that everything we perceive is false, but the conception of false is not possible, cannot exist without conception of truth, because the false is bent or changed truth.
And the false has always to do something with the ego.
Exactly. So, when we see with our eyes, when we see something round, we must understand that this is not round. But because I see that round, there must be ideal round. So I can see, or I can understand the existence of ideal circle. But with eyes, I can see the manifestation, false manifestation of circle. So when I see things around me, I understand that there must be some ideal images of that.
Like Lokavanara.
Yes. So when I see relations between living beings, different relations, like friendly, parental, conjugal, different, I understand that this is false, but there must be some, like ideal circle, there must be some ideal relations. Mm. So what was your question? I forgot. Yeah.
About Vrindavan.
I mean, I maybe I direct from.
No, she asked.
Misdirected. Yeah. So I try to say that there are different instruments to observe false objects and real objects. False objects we observe with senses, and real objects we observe the existence of real objects. We observe with intelligence, and when we develop our new deha, new form, then we can observe not only the existence of reality, but reality itself. When, according to our relations with reality, the reality, the beautiful, gives us the certain combination of new perceptions, new perceptive instruments.
With the guna and the rupa and the
Maharaj, and how can we distinguish, like, which thoughts are from the intelligence or from the mind? Like, sometimes it's difficult because we're thinking everything like in one place, and maybe our misconceptions might be misconceived as intelligence or something like that.
All images are false. You don't need to distinguish between them unless you reject the idea of future. If the idea of future resides in your consciousness, all images that you perceive are false. There is no need to distinguish. Once you kill the conception future, then images turn into real. Then again, you don't have to distinguish. So you don't need to work on images that you observe. By images, I understand sounds, forms, smells, and conceptions like motherland, city, country, father, mother. So this is all images. Some images we perceive with senses, like ear, tongue, nose, and some images we perceive with mind. And all images are false if you have future. That future dictates you the false reality. The conception of future imposes false reality into your consciousness. Because anything that you perceive or think of, you think or perceive with intention to use it in future, in nearest or far future. Just take any example of image. Just think of something and immediately follow that thought. And you will see, oh, that that concept or that image I can use after a while. Just do it yourself. This homework. Start reviving images in your mind, or see anything I perceive, anything I hear, I can use it after some time. So when you kill that after some time, immediately all will turn into reality.
Guardianship of the Lord.
But this finding the purpose of things I perceive.
Yeah, in future.
So if I don't want to utilize it, but I still know the purpose of the thing, would
If you know the purpose of the thing, then you want to utilize it.
But then it means that by surrendering, the world becomes purposeless.
It is purposeless. The world is purposeless.
But then
Because what the world what give you? The death? So everything ends with death, but still we have some plans. In this famous verse, Atmarama, so Vyasadeva counts Atmaramas cha munayo nirgrantah. So nirgrantah means those who have plans, those who design something in their mind. So even those who have no design, grantha means design, but nirgrantha means one who doesn't have design. So one who doesn't have planning for the future. This is this term. So Krishna says even those who reside in reality, nirgrantha, those who have no plans, those who have no future, still they're attracted to qualities of the Lord.
And does it mean those who live in present?
Yeah,
Moment.
Who live in reality. Now, yes. Even those who realize the truth, still they're attracted. But we're not talking about this now, but we're talking about how to distinguish between reality and the falsehood. If we have grantha, if we have future or plans for the future, then everything we perceive is false. Because whatever we get, we will lose when we die.
In the best case.
Yeah. It's like when you are you have capital sentence, right? When you have to die this morning at 9, but at 8 you open the newspaper and looks the weather forecast for next week, right? Or the Prime Minister tells you, after 30 years, our nation will be number one in electronic, whatever, in economy. But you are 70. And you think, oh, very good Prime Minister. After 30 years, our nation will flourish, will prosper. That means being in illusion, because you don't have 30 years. But this is obvious example. But when you are 16 and you hear, after 30 years, you will prosper, you think, oh, I will still be alive after 30 years. This is illusion. It's not that one is sober and another is in illusion. So, any other?
How to get rid of this prospect of the future from the present moment, so you can start perceiving things as they are rather than perceiving illusion?
Krishna names 3 ways to realize the nature of externally reality, to realize the nature of internal reality, and surrender to Him. And three paths are bona fide, are eligible. But that community has chosen the third path, third way.
What if it's not happening? If it's not happening?
What? Happening?
Doesn't work something?
Well, then whole theory, whole teaching is wrong.
It's for younger people more difficult. They have to.
Because they have future. For us, we don't have much future.
No.
But for young people, they think, oh, I'm 16, or I'm 20, I'm 30. We have bright future. But as time advances, then they realize it's like, when you think you have a long way to go, you have a lot of luggage. You have many suitcases and bags, and you have
hopes and dreams.
Yes, because you think I will go through mountains, so I need that equipment. I will go on the road, I need that equipment. So you prepare yourself. Maybe some will invite me in a fancy restaurant, so I need some evening dress. So I put in one suitcase, I put black dress. Or maybe I need this, or maybe I need to dive, so I need a diving suit. So you keep all this. But the more you realize that there is nowhere to go, then step by step you release these extra suitcases. And when you realize actually you are at home and there is no way to go because you are at home, so then you don't need these things. You just need your slippers and pajama.
And then your health goes.
So young people, they think, oh, we have a long way to go. After some years we will. And they keep imaging. They construct images how they walk down in alley of fame on the red carpet. So they have this. But time takes away this. Takes away this.
How fortunate we are that we have Krishna consciousness.
Unfortunately, we are old.
Yeah, and then when you get ill.
Yeah. So the more you advance in age, the more you become nirgrantha, without designs, without designing the future.
Oh, solution.
Mm-hmm.
And once there is no future, what do you see?
The present. The reality. And if by association, if you're lucky enough, then by association with sadhu, bhakta sadhu, you can perceive not reality, but reality the beautiful. It's not guaranteed that after perceiving reality, you become attracted to it. Like King Solomon, he realized the fruitlessness of this reality. and he became the wise man. But he couldn't see the beautiful, the reality of beautiful, because he had no sadhu sangha. So I think with this bright perspective, we can stop this discussion. On this joyful note, we can stop. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Jai. So what's the next scene?
Indeed. You haven't sung today.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah.
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah. जी की जय। जय सपरिकर श्री गुरु गौरंग गंधर्व गोविंद सुंदर जी की जय। जय विष्णुपाद शिला भक्ति निर्मलाचार्य महाराज की जय। जय विष्णुपाद शिला भक्ति सुंदर गोविंद देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय विष्णुपाद शिला भक्ति रक्षक सिद्धार्थ देव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय विष्णुपाद भगवान शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री रूपानुरूपार्ग की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। अनंत गति वैष्णववृंद की जय। प्रेमचक भव श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद की गोवर्धन की जय। भक्त बाबा प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। शुद्धा भक्ति विघ्न विनाशन श्री सिंहदेव की जय। श्री चैतन्य सरस्वती मात की जय। श्री चैतन्य सरस्वती मात लंदन छात्र की जय। श्री धामनापुर की जय। श्री धामनादिक की जय। वृंदावन पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। बलदेश्वर जगन्नाथ जी की जय। समस्त वैष्णव मंडल की जय। समस्त भक्तवृंद की जय। जय श्रीपद भक्ति चैतन्य भरती महाराज की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौ प्रमानंदे।
Very nice class, Maharaj.
I prepared. Is it true drivers can use their driving license until they are 70 years old? Is it? Because it says 70.
77, oh?
Yes, after 70,
You cannot drive.
you cannot use your driving license.
Finish, you cannot drive.
In UK, yes, in this UK test, they say.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yes, I guess
So I press 70 and it's yes, correct.
Then it is, right?
So people after 70 cannot drive?
That's
Maybe it's dangerous.
dangerous.
So,
In Hungary, then